Are atheists kings? Do they think of themselves as, well, I'm a king, you will bow down to me and honour me? Well, this is always what surprises me. You see, I love all people. But here's the thing that people don't really consider. This is why they make poor judges. Now, there's an article about how Piers Morgan erupts at idiot Millwall fans for booing players taking the knee. And they say, show respect, Black Lives Matter. Now, this is all very well, right? Now, the real underlying cause is a human worth taking the knee to? Now, this is what Jesus demonstrated 2,000 years. Now, did it make sense for Jesus to take the knee for sinners? Because that's what Jesus did. He showed humility to people lower than him and helped them. Jesus washed the feet of his disciples. Now, when it comes to Piers Morgan condemning actions, he's not really looking at it from all the angles that it requires. Because firstly, the first question I pointed out, is a human a king that demands taking the knee? Now, Piers, if you were confronted with a king, would you bow down and take the knee to show respect? Now, have you declared that this person has a good character? Or are you taking the knee of respect because the law demands it? You see, I can take the knee with Jesus because Jesus has what's the word? Deserved it, for want of a different word. I can't think of the right word. He deserves it because he has shown his true character to me through the Bible. Now, when it comes to any kind of life, right? You know, all this misleading act that people require, taking the knee to show respect. Now, if you want to be accurate, I suggest all the people who want to take the knee to a specific black person. And right in front of them, take the knee. Show your respect to them personally. Because taking the knee to something that you have no personal revelation about is dangerous. Because I want to quote you with a Bible. You see, now, bear with me please. Samuel was a child, right, in the temple of God. I think that's right, in the temple of God. Or close proximity. I think it was the temple of God, right? But he had never been spoken to directly by God. So Samuel heard a voice, and it said, Samuel, Samuel, and he gets up and thinks it's Eli, the priest that is looking after him, and Eli responds, no, it's not me, go back to bed. And the same thing happens. But then Eli clicks that it's God trying to speak to him. And he says, here I am, I'm your servant. Say what you want. So that's how it begins. But this is the thing. In the Jewish and Christian faith, you can hear either from God or you can hear from the Satan. You have not got any evidence who it is until it is justified after the event. And Samuel was justified because before Samuel was spoken to by God, God had spoken to Eli and said what was going to happen to his family. And God said the same thing to Samuel. So how do we have proof and evidence? Well, we don't have proof and evidence. Eli has proof and evidence that God was talking to Samuel because Samuel relayed what God had said to Samuel. And because Eli had the very same words, he can say Samuel was spoken to by God. Now, what does all that have to do with taking the knee? Well, when people take the knee, you have not justified that a black person has a good character. Are you showing your service to a criminal or a good man? You see, it's all very well to show respect, taking the knee, but if you look at it with a microscope, what you're doing is you're opening up your consciousness to say, I have to respect everyone without knowing if they deserve to be respected. Now, love is a different thing from respect. You see, when God called you to love someone, He did not say support the views of that person. Now, when you have to respect someone, you're giving people power that do not deserve power, because you've not justified that that person should receive power. Now, do you think... No, I'm not talking about the story of Jesus is true at this point. I'm just saying, let's treat the story of Jesus as a fictional story, just for the sake of this argument, right? And you know, we have book clubs, we discuss characters and plot. Now, can you do that for a second? Can your pride do that for a second? Now, if you follow what the New Testament is saying about Jesus, right? Does Jesus deserve to be respected for what he did? Now, the answer should be yes. Now, I would like to ask peers. I want you peers to take any black man from the street and bow down to him without knowing what his character is. I mean, I wonder if Piers would bow down to Jesus. I mean, he bows down to every human being in this world, good or bad. Does he understand how people have to distance themselves? You can love people, but you distance yourself from letting them influence you in their ideas and thinking. And atheists have verified my point, because the atheists, when they judge my videos, say we don't want Graham to influence the people. Well, it's funny, because when you allow this public display of taking a knee, you're doing that very thing that you condemned and did not want. Anyway, I'll let you go. Enjoy yourselves.